Hi there. In today's video, I wanted to talk about all my favorite mixed media art supplies that I used in 2024 and talk about, just the benefits of keeping a mixed media sketchbook or journal or whatever you want to call it, because sometimes people call them journals, I call them sketchbooks, but they can have many uses and a lot of benefits. So let's jump into the video. I'm going to start out with the sketchbooks, and in my last video I did do a tour of my most recent sketchbook, but I just want to name these Creations Sketchbooks. They come in multiple sizes, in great colors. This one's about 5 by 5 or 4.7 by 4.7 inches. The color covers come in different color covers, which can be fun. This is the 8 by 5 size, and then there's a larger size, which I absolutely love. This is the 8 by 10 by 8, 11 by 8 size, which is perfect for all kinds of mixed media. Now the paper is thinner, it's about a 90-pound paper, but it does hold lots of mixed media materials and processes, and holds up pretty well, I think, for a sketchbook. I want to just get my notes up. Hold on. Okay, so one of the things that I do want to say about these that I've really learned about over the last, I think I started trying to do a daily sketchbook practice in about September, October. I was sort of like getting pulled into it. I learned a lot about just dedicating myself to something that it's just mine, it's just fun. It's a place to be free to just experiment, and it's not for it's not for a client, it's not for sale, it's nothing. It's nothing, but it's everything, because it keeps your hand moving, and it's so important. So those are the sketchbooks that I recommend for if you're just starting with a practice of sketchbooks or journaling. These are pretty affordable. I mean, they run, on Blick, $10, $15, $20. I don't have the exact price, but I found them really affordable. So that's the sketchbooks. One sketchbook that is new to me that I did get, this is the Sea White. It's a concertina sketchbook. Hold on, I have to get it out of its binder. It's a concertina sketchbook, which is kind of fun. I got it by accident. I thought I was ordering just a regular sketchbook, but a concertina, it's like one big sheet of paper that's folded. I have to open it the right way. And so it's a book that opens up here, and it's endless pages. You know what a concertina is. So I've been having a lot of fun just meandering pages through that. And I think the best thing about this, it's actually two sketchbooks in one, because when I have to remember how to do this, flip it over here or here, then you get the back side becomes another opportunity. So you get all kinds of places to play and add things. It holds up collage really well. So this is like just cut paper and drawings. So I've been playing with that here and there. But what's great about it is that you can display it. And it has just beautiful, if you had a mantle or someplace or a bookshelf, you can open it up and see it in all of its entirety. Not all of its entirety, but you get to see how the pages interact. I always think sketchbooks are marvelous for engagement. Like you pick it up. It's not like it's on a wall and you look at it. You actually engage with it. And that's another really, I think, important element of sketchbooking and turning the pages. So that's another check. Maybe someday when I finish this one, I'll do a tour of it officially. But it also comes with this little case that you slip this back into. Kind of, oops. It keeps everything together. There you go. Like that. Okay, so that's the Sea White. I think it's called Sea White. I'll link it below. Concertina sketchbook. I got it on Amazon. So that's sketchbooks. Next, I want to just talk about my fascination, my new love of acrylic markers. I did a video of this before, these Arrtx markers and the Sharpie creative markers that come in these colors here and here. I think they're both compatible together, and this one is 36 colors. This one was, I don't know, just a few colors. These Arrtx markers have bigger sets. I only got the 36 set, but I've been using it, and you'll see that in the other sketchbook tour. I like that these can work together. All of these work together and can be layered over each other. And it's a quick ability to grab something and go and use it. The other markers that I really like are the Faber-Castell watercolor marker. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Faber-Castell. They have, oh look, I'll use this. They have dual tips. They have this is what these little books are perfect for. A brush on one side, which is nice. They're pretty juicy. And then they have a thinner tip on the other side. And I don't know if it's like my imagination, but it feels like the side that's the brush tip, it looks like this, the other end looks darker to me, and that's probably intentional. Maybe it's used as, you know, in collaboration with this. So this one's here, and this one is slightly darker. That one's darker, and this one seems lighter. The brush tip seems darker here than the pointed tip. But I think that could be useful. So this is the sanguine. Doesn't it seem darker? It does seem darker to me. See? Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Yeah. So the colors these are the colors that I like, and it's the Sanguine 188. This is Earth Green 172. Green Gold 268. And it is dark indigo, and I also have a black one as well. Now they do say that it is light fast, pigmented ink, water soluble. Okay. So that's those. Oops. I also have the Echo line. These Echo lines, I have several of these. The Echo lines are an ink pen as well. Very juicy. And concentrated formula. I don't know that they are light fast, so, but for a sketchbook, I think it's fine. I like them. The colors are vibrant. Don't think they re-wet, but wait, let's see. Let's see, I have a little brush pen here. They do re-wet and they blend. I haven't tried to re-wet them, but they're nice. They do re-wet. Okay. So that one is a sky blue. This one's a gray, just a cold gray. And this one's a burnt sienna. And they do blend together really nicely. Okay, so that's those pens. We also use, in my sketchbook, I have mixed media. I like these Tombow markers here. And they come also in a whole host of colors. This one is, this was the 020. This is the N89, and this was the 992. What I think is important is to know that all of these we can use other materials with, like colored pencils. These colored pencils go over all of this quite well. And I also have, so these are the Luminance colored pencils, which are my favorite. They're very, they're kind of creamy and the colors are great. And I don't have all, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them. 80 colors, 90 colors or whatever. Don't quote me, but you see how strong the color is. But there's also the ability to get colors that are just using the white. Works as well too. The white is nice for adding on top of your drawings in your sketchbook. And a gray. Okay, the other thing I think is so important, and I was never really a big colored pencil person, but getting a good sharpener, because these things get worn down pretty fast. So I got myself one of these. It's called a Cretacolor Mega Sharpener, and everything stays nicely in this little contraption here, and you can just open it over a trash can. So those are for these, and sometimes I just enjoy sitting around sharpening my pencils because it's relaxing. Okay, so those are the the other markers. Let's keep going with the markers before I jump over. Posca pens, beautiful. If you want some big paint inky shapes, I particularly like this one with this bullet chisel shaped to make big shapes or color in large areas. And they come in multiple colors as well. So these are great to have. But you can also get, you know, a similar effect with the Pitt pen. I think it's a little more transparent because it's watercolor, like a water. It's called a watercolor. It's a dual marker, but I think it's like more water. It's grayer. It's not as black as this black, but it's nice. Still good, works. Now these Echo lines are compatible with the Poscas. They don't, you know, lift off. I don't think they do here either. Nope, they do go over these. The colored pencils are also compatible with those Poscas. They have to be completely dry though. See that? Yeah. Okay, next I am gonna talk about, I wanna jump over to Neocolor 2. I have a whole bunch of these Neocolor 2s, and they are also very compatible with all of these other marker. All these other markers, the Neocolor 2s, go on top of them quite well. And these are water soluble. Here, you can lift the water off of them. Lift off with water. And spread the pigment. Okay, so the other thing I found out is, when I wanted to like wear down, use a pointed Neocolor 2, I had nowhere to sharpen it. But I found if you go on Amazon, you can get a sharpener for your Neocolor 2s. Who knew? I never knew. But I do sometimes like something with a more pointy, a point. If I'm working in a small or I want to get a thin line. There you go. So this is, let me just get rid of this. There you go. Who knew? A Neocolor 2, specifically for Neocolor 2. Just Google Neocolor 2 pencil sharpener. Oh, and it wasn't expensive either, but it's kind of a lifesaver because sometimes they get all worn out, and they do get broken sometimes, but you still want a point to everything. Okay, so this is Neocolor 2 and it's pencil sharpener. I've been using a glue stick for my mix for the collage bits. Really easy to find anywhere. I'm just going to skip back to the ink world again. I discovered that I love these. I love ink, but I particularly like it when it comes all compact in a brush that I can use. So these are the Pentel brush pens, and it has this reservoir of ink in the well here, and a really nice brush tip, and it allows you to get the benefit of beautiful ink line without too much fuss. Without having to pull out a bottle of ink and a brush. It's very portable and easy to use. And I love the line. Got a nice thin, thick, thin and thick. And then you get some of that nice texture that you have with a brush. So this is one. This is the Pentel brush pen. This is another Pentel. This one's brand new. So I just want to show you when you open it. You open it. It has this little red ring that's here. That comes off. You don't need that anymore. And then these get put back together again, and it's counterclockwise that you turn it to get it in. And then you'll see when you first open it that nib is white. But then you take this and squeeze it, hold it down, squeeze it, and the ink begins to fill in. Where am I? You squeeze it, and the ink starts to fill in here. And then you'll see when I start to write and press down on it, the ink begins to fill into the bristles. There you go. And you can get a dry brush effect and then fill it a little bit more. And we can get really nice lines, very similar to this one. So this one that I know of is not refillable. So that's one thing that I have never found a way to refill this one. This one, you can get, Pentel sells the refills for this pen. It's for the pocket brush pen. And I think the ink is, doesn't tell you, I don't think it's rewettable. I don't think. does re-wet. This one doesn't though. This one doesn't re-wet. Yeah. Permanent ink. So this one's permanent. This one seems to re-wet a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it's not permanent, which I think can be fine. Okay, so that's my ink story. I did want to say when I was talking about the Ecolines, the Ecolines do have the capacity to get this bottle of Ecoline ink, and you can refill that. I've never done it, and I've seen that other people have trouble with it, so it's just a little more fiddly. But you can use the Ecoline ink in this for refill by unplugging all of this stuff here. I've never done it, so I'm not going to even pretend that I know how. But I think the other thing with this is it has an extra nib in it, which is also a benefit. Okay. Okay. There's that. There's the inks. So next, I wanted to mention the Distress ink. I think I'd shown you in my sketchbooks that I really liked this Distress ink because it gives you a way to add some texture to a page just by adding a little bit of stamping right on from the pad. You can do a lot of different kind of marks and texture to start a page. In fact, you could use a sketchbook, use this as a way to kind of break into your sketchbook so that it's, you know, if you have fear of the blank page, you have a way to start to go in and begin to use just some simple marks to do page starters. Just color it in and make it a place to, on the go, okay, I've got a page started, what am I going to do next, kind of thing. So these Distress inks by Ranger come in a lot of different, a host of different colors. There's a Vintage Photo, thing called Prize Ribbon, which is blue, and the Black Soot, and I have several of those. So I always find those a great way to just be able to go into your sketchbook and, you know, just start to play with, you know, just texture on a page as a way to start. Okay, and the next thing was, we talked about the glue stick, and we talked about the Luminance pencils. Going over to some sort of little bit of the wet media. I have been enjoying a palette with dry gouache, or gouache. You saw that in my sketchbook that I've been using a lot of that. I have also used this art toolkit, and I've put my gouaches in here rather than have to fuss with, you know, putting the tubes out and squirting them out. I kind of like this idea on the go, particularly for sketchbooking. Easier to, you know, use a simple brush pen like this and, you know, oops, just add color on the go into your sketchbook. So I like that. My palette was made from these Turner Design Gouache, and it's an affordable, I mean, this is under, I think this set was under $30 for all these colors. I didn't put all of them in here, but the colors that I did use for my little palette, a pale rose blush, which was Winsor Newton gouache, yellow ochre, Prussian blue, a buff titanium, which came from I think another maker, Naples yellow, rose violet, permanent scarlet, permanent orange. I made some mistakes with this. I think I ended up doing 2 burnt siennas. There's a viridian green and a cobalt blue. These are 2 other blues. I think these are Holbein. Smalt blue, aqua blue, a dark green, an olive green, indigo blue. I like the indigo and the Prussian, but I think you could do away with, I could probably do away with one of those. And I think I had a lot of greens, but if I was to do this over again, I would probably change some of my colors, but mostly I like it. So I have the indigo, cobalt, turquoise, Windsor green, a burnt umber, ash blue, a black, a gray number 1 and gray number 3, and a lemony yellow. All of these are movable, and Art Toolkit has these little trays that you can, they're interchangeable. So I might, play around with changing this maybe next year, or right now it's working for me. I've been using it for not only in my sketchbook, but I've also, oops, there goes that. Okay, just using it in my floral work, things for licensing. The colors are bright and vibrant, so I think you'll get a lot of use out of these. The Turner colors are great, and this is all gouache. So I'll do a tour of these another time, but I just wanted you to see that the vibrancy of the color, and they're really lovely textured watercolor gouache paints that I highly recommend. So the other thing is, if you are looking to kind of work outside your sketchbook, I am recommending some different pads of paper if you want to jump into something like what I was just showing you. The Arrtx pad, this is 300 gram, 140 pounds. This is about 8 by 8, and then the Stonehenge is a great paper, and it's also Stonehenge watercolor paper has glue on the sides, and then you would just use a palette knife to lift the pages off. This one has glue on all but this one side, so everything stays flat. Oh, and this one, the Stonehenge, gives you directions on how to, and a QR code to try to demonstrate what tape to use, what masking fluid, if you're going to use that, and whether the paper's double-sided. So I had never seen that before, so that's new. All right, so I know I skipped over to watercolor paper, but I thought since I showed that to you, showed my paintings to you, I wanted to share with you some of the ways that I then take my sketchbook work and work out, what's in my sketchbook, what would come next. I think that the most important thing to remember, there are a couple of things. You have the freedom, these sketchbooks give you the freedom to experiment, low pressure. It can help you really break through your creative blocks, and using a variety of materials helps you find all these endless possibilities, making it easier to get started. If one tool doesn't work, then you have the ability to pick up something else, so you're never really stuck. And then when you experiment with layers and textures, it really allows you to try new techniques in a really low stakes format where you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, what a waste. It's never a waste. So as you gain familiarity with all the different mediums, you'll feel more confident in your skills. And then when you use the different materials, it helps you to be more, it encourages like that self-expression, that it helps you communicate what it is that you want to communicate, emotions, thoughts, ideas, what you're seeing, whether it's through layering the paint or adding handwritten text or incorporating a collage or something found into your work. You can find unique ways to keep expressing what it is you want to express yourself, how you want to express yourself. Working with all these different materials helps you to understand how things interact with each other, and you can let go of the need for perfection, and it is, you know, kind of is what it is, and it gives you the ability to kind of just move past the places that might get you stuck. Also, the tactile nature of mixed media will encourage you to focus on, you know, the sensory experience of it. It's about mindfulness, and it can help you stay really present, and that helps you to reduce stress, I think. That's what I've learned anyway. I think, oh, I'm just going to work in my sketchbook for 10 minutes, and then, oh, I look up, it's been an hour and a half, you know. So I think you do get, you can get really caught up in it in a really good way. It's a playground, and it's a personal space to brainstorm, to test ideas, make new discoveries about materials, about yourself. And over time, it does become an archive. So then I enjoy looking through old sketchbooks because I see how much my work has changed, my confidence has increased, and so I would say if you're new to art journaling, start small. Grab a few tools that you're curious about and let yourself just explore. Just explore and have fun. So let me know in the comments, what kinds of materials do you think you'd like to try first? All right, thanks for stopping by.